All right, so today we're going to talk about building your database, and I want to really show you how to use your database, how to get things going. So, how many of you have been working on your database? Diane?
Today's the day.
Okay, cool.
Define working.
Define working. Well, getting at least just compiling the names right now, all the contact information, so that you can get that into your system. So I did fix it where Yvonne, we had talked before and you were having trouble like deleting somebody out of your contacts and you didn't have the little things to upload. I have that fixed. So you'll now be able to do that when you log into MyInstantAgent. Okay. So I'll show you where all that is. That's what we're going to be doing today.
Good.
So, the number one way to get business is your sphere of influence. And most agents forget about that. They think that they've got to go out chasing new business. And your database is your treasure trove of business right there. People who already know you, that have done business with you in the past, or are friends, family, maybe acquaintances, that they know you and they know what you do. So why not tap into that and really see what you can do to pull that in. With and Ula's not here, but I'm going to talk about her for a second. Ula's business is all referral business. And that's where she's able to just keep things rolling. And so we're going to be adding implementing the marketing aspects for her that she's not done. And, she's been doing pretty well with getting business just from word of mouth and talking to people that she's done business with in the past. So I really want you guys to drill into your database, making sure that you have it, that you stay on top of it, that you keep it running. And that's part of the automations that I've built out that I want to assist you in staying in front of people. But there are things that you should be doing to constantly be in front of them as well. So let me go into my little thing here. This is from a class that I teach. So we're just going to kind of do an overview for a minute. But, your database is your collection of people, your contacts, your sphere of influence. So who should you be putting in there? Everybody that you know. And, of course, you're going to do past clients. Those should be marked as your VIPs. And we'll go over that when we're going into the MyInstantAgent system. All of your neighbors, all of your relatives, people that are past co-workers. So, even agents in other states are great referral partners and sphere of influence. What about if, you had, all of us, usually we're at the age where we have grandchildren now, but what about their teachers? What about people that you do business with, like who you get your hair done with? Sorry, Colleen, Yvonne's already got that one taken care of.
Even my last one was taken care of. I was just nice to her. She was late. She was related to the
Colleen.
She was related to the broker down in St.
Yeah. But doesn't mean they don't know people, right? So
that's right.
Who's your dentist? Who do you go to church with? Who are the parents of your kids' friends, So really think about who is it that you do business with, that that you can collect that information and start getting in front of them on a regular basis. So, your mechanic that takes care of your car, things like that. People don't think about all the little details throughout the day of who they connect with. And it's really important to try and get as many people in there as possible. Now, they have the option of saying, hey, don't send me anything. That's fine. But, if you can start just communicating with them in ways that keeps you in front of them and reminds them that you're in real estate, that will help your business, right? And then who are your influencers? So you're going to have people that maybe you become really good friends with an insurance agent, and they have a list of people that you might be able to get in front of. That would be an influencer. Years ago, I had a client that was the mayor of the city. Well, the mayor has a lot of people that they connect with. I've told you guys before about the building supply store, the owner that I ended up meeting through a contractor and started doing business with him because he was an investor in building some homes. And he was my biggest influencer. Every time I would go out to visit, I came home with business. He would introduce me to everybody that would come in the door. And so who is it in your sphere of influence that could be a great influencer to get you in front of more people? And so start thinking about that. And in what ways could you assist that person with their business and be able to connect and do maybe joint ventures? And there's more things we'll talk about, in future trainings about that. How, when you do joint ventures with someone, maybe you do highlight them in your newsletter. Now, you guys all got your newsletters that, and I think Colleen, you were the last one I just needed to get info for. And so I'll have
Can we use Jack? Because these guys probably will be February, or I guess, is it January we're doing now?
We are doing January, right?
They didn't get it ready for me. So I told them this morning, I said, just get it to me. And as soon as I have it and I've got a space for you, I'll plug you in.
Okay.
And that way they better be faster.
True. They want to be highlighted, So start thinking about who you want to start highlighting throughout the year. That way, when it's time for me to do those, that, you can have that information ready. You can even send me a list of, okay, over the next few months, here's the people, here's what I want to say about them, here's their contact information. Okay. So that way it'll be easier for me to get your magazines out for you. But it's a good time to connect with those people and say, hey, I'm doing my magazine is going out this next month and I would love to spotlight you, and just connect with them about that. Maybe they would spotlight you in some of their marketing that they're doing. So start trying to do a little bit of a joint venture there with different people. Maybe you have a fabulous mechanic that you just really trust that you would love to highlight in your magazine. It doesn't have to be real estate related. It could be professionals in the community, or a restaurant, or, business owners, any type of businesses out there. But these are the people that you want to connect with that have a sphere of influence of their own, and they could introduce you to their sphere of influence. So just to start thinking about the bigger picture. It's not just the people that it's the people that your people know. So that's how you expand your sphere out there. And being able to target those people. And of course, when you highlight them, putting them in a magazine, that means a lot to them. They're like, wow, that was really cool. What can I do to help this agent? Because they did that for me. Anybody got any thoughts on who you might have in your group that might be a good influencer for you?
Hey, I've got a ton of them, and I just need to go make new friends or renew with my friends.
Yeah.
Yvonne, can I use Kent for this month in mine? Just
Absolutely.
because we love him, and so we don't mind sharing more of him in our sphere.
Yeah.
Can we use, you have him, don't you, Michelle? Don't you have his data?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put Kent in your magazine for this month. So,
Okay.
And Diane,
Yeah.
he is in St. George quite a bit. If you would like to meet up with him, I can arrange that. He is a mortgage broker, not just a lender.
And Diane, he is wonderful. He does reverse mortgages. He has a condo in St. George, and he comes down once a month. So it would be easy for you to meet with him.
Okay, yeah, let's set that up.
I'll set that up.
With two really good people that have helped me throughout the years, but I would love to add people to me.
Especially with his reverse mortgage skills. He's dynamite with it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, in your area, Diane, with people who are retiring and moving there, that would be a really good feature to be able to help people do the reverse mortgages. And I think it's
Did
a
you
great
say
thing to do
divorce
a class
mortgages?
to introduce people to it, because a lot of people don't understand what a reverse mortgage is, you know,
Yeah.
and really being able to understand how that could help them, because I see a lot of people who are retired that they're living just off their retirement, and they could be tapping into their equity in their home and
Yeah.
not living, you know, a poverty life because all their money's stuck in their house, you know. So there are good options there. All right, so where are we going to store this? So normally in my class, I give them options, but of course you guys have MyInstantAgent, and this is where you're going to store everything at. So with your database, the reason I'm really pushing this is I want you to have that in there so that you can start tapping in and being top of mind in business for these people. They're going to forget that you're in business. They know you, they know who you are, but in day-to-day activities, if you don't stay in front of them, they forget what you do. And how many times have you been talking to somebody, you know, at church or just at the grocery store, come to find out they went and bought some property or sold their property, and they forgot that you were in the business. And if they had remembered, they would have called you. But you're not staying first and foremost in their mind, right? So really important to do that. So let's talk a bit about ways that you could utilize your database. Now we're doing the monthly magazines, so you want to make sure that, and with the system, when I send you that magazine, you can go in and just mark everybody that you want to send that magazine to and send an email to them or a text message right within MyInstantAgent. So it'll only take you a couple of minutes instead of taking you, you know, an hour to go through everybody in your book or all your email addresses. So this is going to save you a lot of time.
Have you
And
guys done that yet? Because I have, and I love.
yeah, Yvonne's got hers in there. And so and I have seen that she's sending them out there. And then you can mark in their file, put some like a task in there that you need to connect with them, you know, every couple of months. Do a quarterly phone call if you wanted to. There are things that you can use the system for to remind you of people that you need to be connecting with. And then also there's a section for notes, and we'll go through that when we get back into the system. Weekly emails, things that are useful, bits of information. So I'm working on some blog posts for you guys to be able to start utilizing in when we get your websites more robust. And you can be sending out those, they're like articles that are, you know, about different things in real estate. You could be sending those out to your sphere of influence. The fourth one down here, it says client Google alerts. What I like to do is my influencers, I like to create a Google alert, and you can just go into Google and type in, how do I set up a Google alert? And it'll give you that information. And you tell it what you're looking for. So when I, in my old community, and actually I would do that now where I live in Overland, I would put that anytime Overland in Eagle Mountain is mentioned on Google, I want to be notified about it. So if there's some type of activities in your area, Colleen, you're right near Daybreak. I mean, Daybreak is enormous, and you could be on, you know, getting notifications about things that are going on in Daybreak, and then letting people know since you're right there, you know, with South Jordan. You could also put people's names. So let's say that you do have the mayor of your city as one of your sphere of influence. You could ask Google to alert you anytime that person is mentioned on any websites. And so you can keep track of what's going on. And it's a great way to connect with people when you see that they're doing things in the community. Or you can connect with your sphere when you know what's going on in your community. If there's new updates that they need to know about, you should be the digital mayor of your area, of your niche. So be that person that's bringing them good information. useful information. That's how you stay relevant and in front of those people all the time. You can ask for recommendations, or you can give recommendations about, people. Maybe you have, like, your great mechanic. You want to send out a recommendation to all your sphere of influence about that person. Birthdays. Now, I did find in here, it says date of birth, not birthday in the contact. So that's why we weren't looking and finding it, but it is in the first section. I'll show you that. So sending out birthday cards. There are systems that we could automate birthday cards to be sent out. And so we'll just have to set up, you'll have to have an account with, like, if you look up thanks.io, it's a service that I can connect to MyInstantAgent, so that if you just prepay for, a couple of months of cards up front, and the system sends Thanks.io a notification that it needs a card for a certain person to be sent out on a certain day, it will do that for you automatically. So that would save you time, and then you wouldn't be missing people's birthdays. Yvonne, you had a question?
Yes, thanks. What is the website again?
Thanks.io.
Okay,
Spell it.
thank you.
Yeah, really,
Tanks.
yeah, THANKS.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Like, thank you, thanks.
She thought you meant Spanx.
Oh,
Oh,
no, I no bank, like where you put your money. I was gonna say, how
Thanks.
does
I
that
like that even
connect?
better.
Thanks makes more sense.
So, just touching a little touch point, and actually you can set it up with them that you could send like a $10 gift thing for any kind of restaurant. They sent me, when you sign up for their subscription just to find out about them, they'll send you a $10 coupon for Chipotle. And so it just gives you an idea of what's possible. Okay.
Good.
All right. Then client spotlights. So that's kind of what we're doing with our magazines, but you could also be doing that in your emails, sending out information about maybe this time of year is tax season. So maybe you have a great tax preparer that you would like to tell everybody about, and, let that person know, is it okay if I let everybody know that you're a great tax person? And of course they're going to say yes, because you're marketing for them, right? But what are they going to feel? They're going to feel like they need to reciprocate. They need to do something to help you out. So just
Reduce my tax bill.
yeah, exactly.
That's a good one.
And of course, newsletters is kind of what we're doing with the magazine. Social media. So you could be introducing those people on your social media platform, on your business page. You could highlight each month somebody that you think is great in the community that you want to share. Or you could be letting them know about things that are happening in your community. So that's a great way when you're getting those Google alerts. You could send out things, in your social media and say, wow, there's a new, business coming to town, and I wanted to tell you about it. So again, it's all about being that digital mirror of your community. And then of course, with client appreciation events, you want your database ready so that you can invite people for those events. And then you could also put that in your social media posts, let people know that they're invited, to come. And with the client appreciation events, when we get to a point where one of you are doing that, we'll set up a system that has the automations that reminds people about your event, so you don't have to do that manually. And we can even set it up where invitations go out to them. Lots of different ways that we can do that within the system. And then of course, lunch invites. So inviting those people that are in your sphere of influence to have lunch with you, just connect and see how things are going with them. Obscure holidays. You all know I love to do weird, odd holidays throughout the year. And if we can find some things that keep you in front of them, whether it's, doing a mail out or a pop by, or putting it out on social media, or sending it by email or text. And then the referral club is kind of the VIP club idea. What can you do that is a little more special for people who have closed with you to stay in front of them? Okay. So let's see, we'll go back further. So you know that we've got the, when somebody closes as a buyer, we have the VIP nurture that goes through the process of just staying in front of them. I am building them out to be, you know, we need at least the first year, but I really would like to ultimately do a 5-year plan so that there are automated things that are going out to them every couple of weeks that keeps you in front of them. So I'm using some artificial intelligence to give me some ideas on what ways we can keep continuing the conversations with them. But it's not just by email that you need to be communicating. You need to be communicating with your social media posts, with phone calls, with all the things we've talked about. So, all right, so that was that. So let me go in here, pull out. All right. So have you guys been into MyInstantAgent lately?
No.
All right. So this is really, I highly suggest that each day you're going in, looking at your contacts, adding more people in there. And as each week, I'm going to be teaching you more things about how to use the system. Okay. So when you're inside of MyInstantAgent, you're going to go to your contact tab. Now you'll notice that you should be able, and Yvonne, check yours, you should be able to see your delete little trash can. There's, you can export all your contacts if you needed to download everybody, and you can upload everybody, okay? So you don't have, you can go in and do them individually if you wanted to. So if you're at that point where you really don't have an Excel spreadsheet or anything, and you want to just go in each one at a time, you can do that. So all you do is click the add contact button, and then it's going to give you just the basic information to begin with, just to fill this stuff out. Once you have them in here, so if I click this one, you can see right here is the date of birth. So we were looking for birth date before. So if I wanted to, you know, put that birth date in there, well, I can do that. You'll notice it has contact source. This is going to be if that contact came in through one of our other systems. So whether a form or you entered them on a form, if they filled out a survey, if they came in for a CMA, any of those things. And then if you wanted to fill out if they have a business, but then also put their street address, their city, and their mailing address so that you have that. And you'll definitely need that if you're going to use things like the Thanks IO, so that it'll automatically send things to them. Make sure that the time zone for that person is correct. So you've got a friend who lives in the East Coast, put their time frame there. Because the system is set up where it won't text message people at odd hours of the night. And we want to make sure that their time zone is correct. Okay. Now, additional information is going to be if something's been filled out about them, or if they've answered like a open house questionnaire, all their answers are going to be inside of that additional information. See where it has, what do you think of the price? If you want to just give all the places that you've actually filled something in, you can come up to the top on this left column and hit hide empty fields.
Oh, that's cool.
So then it will only give you what you've got information filled in for. Okay. And then tags. So when you are uploading people, you want to tag them. Were they a seller that they closed? If they're if they've closed with you, then notice it says buyer closed and VIP. So we can segregate the list so to be just all of our VIPs, or if we want to only get the people who were buyers, or maybe they were only sellers. So you want to tag the people for what type of business they did with you. And that way you could sort the list out, any way you want in the future. But anybody who has been a past client that's closed with you, make sure that you put VIP as a tag. If they were a buyer, put buyer closed. If they were a seller, put seller closed. When you start typing in here, it will give you, well, it's supposed to give you a list, and this is just a test account, give you a list of all the tags that you already have, and then you can add more in there. But that helps you just, get that list a little more detailed as to who you really want to be communicating with.
I like that.
Now, at the very bottom of this left column, you'll see the DND. This is a do not disturb, is what it is. If you have emailed someone and they marked that they don't want to receive, they want to unsubscribe, then it will put a check mark next to emails and won't send any emails anymore. By law, we have to have this in here. If you are text messaging them and they unsubscribe, so if they type stop, then it will mark it in your system that they're no longer accessible through that means. All right. You'll still have the other ways unless they unsubscribe there too. But it's just for, the FCC requires that if somebody says, hey, stop emailing me, that you have to do that. Okay. But don't mess with these unless, now, if somebody called you up and fussed at you and said, don't email me anymore, I would just remove them from my database completely. But there are some people that would just say, okay, I won't email you anymore. And they would mark the email. But to me, it doesn't make any sense to keep somebody on your list if they don't want to be bothered, right? In the middle here is going to be your communication with them. And this compiles everything together. So if there were emails that are sent out, you'll see this is a little, if you can see that, it's a little envelope. So that was an email that went out. So like with this, when they go under contract as a buyer, they get the list, they get an email letting them know all about all their deadlines that are in the contract, what it is and what that means. And then when they start getting notification about like the seller financing coming up or the financing and appraisal deadline coming up, that sort of thing, you can see what the system has sent out to them. And then you can see what, if they've responded back to you as well. And the last one will be, congratulations to, just wishing them and letting them know that you're going to be continuing to communicate with them. You don't just drop them because they're a closed client now. Now, that will show text messages, Facebook Messenger, if they've communicated with you through Facebook Messenger or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. Those are the platforms that are connected. If you have your social media connected in here, okay? And then on the right-hand side, this is where, if they visited a page or if you have entered them, like we created this contact, was there a survey submitted? Where did they come from? If you look, there's these 4 tabs on top of that column. So if you click task, this is where, let's say, okay, for this particular client, I want to call them every 3 months. So I could create a task in here, add a new task, and just put phone call. And then, call for updates, right? Whatever you want to put in there. And now this is the system set up where we could have teams in here, so it could be assigned to a certain person. But within your sub account, you're the only person in here. So you don't have to worry about assigned. So if I click save, notice it actually gave me the wrong due date. So let's see, why did it not? Oh, there we go. So if you click the date itself, then you can choose. So if I want to do this in 3 months, then I'll go ahead and just click, the 13th of April. This is when I want it to notify me that I need to do that. So now that's a task that shows up on their list. It'll also show up if you just pull up the general tasks. When you talk to somebody, if you want to take notes, you can do that too. So if you click notes, then click add new, And then, note of visit, whatever, maybe you were talking to him, found out that the wife is pregnant and they're going to have a baby in June. And, so what notes can you keep? And it just reminds you the next time when you go to make your phone call, pull up your notes and refresh your memory on things that you talked about last time. That way, I used to be really good at that myself, but I'm not anymore. I tend to forget some things that people have told me. So this, would be things that you just keep your notes. And then if you have somebody that you are scheduling an appointment with, you can actually do it right in here. But I would suggest that you send them to your landing page for that. And that's another training for another day. So, but you can set up an appointment and it gets reminders in there that you have an appointment set with them. So, hopefully you'll find this really useful and be able to make this as robust as possible so that you can keep track of what's going on with your database and being able to stay in touch with all these people. So do you guys have any questions on that or any thoughts?
No, I'm so excited to use it. I'm so excited to have a CRM that will do as much as I need it to do.
Perfect. And, my goal was to build a CRM that's actually very useful, because we've all dealt with CRMs in the past that well, if you get a good one, you pay a lot of money for, all right? And I wanted it to be something that not only do you have it as a repository for all your contact information, but that it's also going to do things for you. And you've got to be able to have it marketing you and staying in front of them so that you can get that business going. So that being said, yeah, Yvonne, you got to unmute yourself.
I was sneezing. I didn't want
Oh.
you to hear that. So having used this a little bit, I've always used a Google sheet and I can look back and see when I contacted these people. So will it separate out? Where does it go when you've talked to somebody or emailed or whatever? Is there, and I know what you're going to say, but listen a minute.
Okay.
So I want to, so is there a list that says I emailed all these people in January, and in February, and that month I text them in January, and that month I called them? Is there a way to separate that out so I can quickly find, because I try to break it up in quarters and then rotate. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So can we create just a list from database that tells you what you did in a certain month? Okay.
Right.
Okay, let me write that down because I will work on that. All right. So we
Then
can
the other,
have a report that could be,
yeah,
here are all the people that were emailed these dates. All right, so list from database. All right, I gotta make sure I write a good, clear note, because sometimes I write notes and then I go back to it later and go, what?
just
What
put my name out there and say she probably didn't explain it really well, so I'll call her.
Yeah. So no, I think that's good, and I'll see if we can incorporate that into a smart list so that you can see who you connected with and what was sent out, or at least that there was something sent out. Then you can go into their contacts and see what was sent out to them. I like
It'd even really be cool if it would connect to our calendar and put in, so in March, April, you could kind of start over or something. I don't know if that's even possible.
that might be a little more than.
Could you just tag it as start over with?
Oh,
I don't
well,
know.
we could, through automations, we can, do things on certain months or certain timeframes, but you're wanting a list of what's been already done, correct? So if people were emailed your newsletter or something during the month of January, you want to be able to pull up a report that shows what happened during that time frame, right?
Mm.
Am I right on that?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
thank you. Isn't this great, gals? Yay, Michelle.
So, all right, I talked about this the last time, but I want you to do a database reactivation. Okay. So when you get, now I did email you guys right before we started. I emailed you a template that's an Excel spreadsheet,
I didn't
and you
see
could
it.
use that to put all your contacts in and then upload all those contacts. So if I pull up, let me pull up the Excel spreadsheet that I did. And you're going to see it's just a basic, but it has the different things that the database is set up with. What we want to do, because a lot of times you'll pull a database from another system and it may have it, named different things. So we want everything labeled out so that when you import it in, that the system understands this column is their first name, this column is their last name. So it matches up to what, and they call it mapping, to go across the platform. So just fill out this information if you don't have your database done yet, or if you want to just pull everything over into this and clean it up so that it's easy to upload into MyInstantAgent. So when you have that file, what you do is you go back to just your main contact area, and you'll see that little button that's an upload there, import contacts. So if I click that, this is where you're going to upload that file. Now, if I upload this file, so let's see, I don't know if remember where I put it at. Where did I save it? Okay, let's just do file, save as, and I'll put it in my downloads for now. All right, that way I know where exactly it is. So if I upload a file, go to my downloads, and why is it not showing it? Here we go, contact template. Oh, I know why. I need to fix that file and send it to you. It needs to be a CSV file, but that's all right. So yeah, that's the problem. All right, let me fix that real quick here. So if I save it as a CSV, comma, delimited file. All right, now it should pull it up. And you just have to have the right language for the computer to understand. All right, so where, no, it didn't. Hang on. Never good to do these things on the call here. You got to do it ahead of time. All right, downloads, CSV, there we go. Yes, okay. There we go. So now it accepted it. And so once you upload it, you'll see it's right there. It says the name of the file. Click next. And see, it's going to say, okay, in our system, we have first name. What column is the first name? What column is the last name? Everything's got to port over to the same thing. So street address, you got to look inside of our file. It says street address. So this is going to be, let's see. Yes, I didn't name it correctly. I'll go back and clean that list up and go. But so property address. So, you got to make sure that the things go across, postal code, tags, and then you click next. And what it'll do is pull that information from your file and put it into the system.
Cool.
So I'll fix that CSV file and send it to you. Okay. But once you have that, you should be able to have everybody in here, and then you can start going through, putting notes in each one of them, doing whatever you want in the system. What's that? Okay. So once you have everybody in, we want to do a database reactivation. So if you remember what I told you, and you don't have to know where this is because I'm going to show you an easy place to get to it. But if you, let's see, it is, where did I put it? It's under,
I believe you've already done this for me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was waiting for you to get it all ready to go. So
You haven't done it?
database. Hang on, here we go.
Don't panic.
The database reactivation is where we're offering them a, well, after they told us if they had somebody, then we would give them $100 savings card, a hotel savings card. But in our message, you know, the message that goes out, it's, I just closed on a house with an awesome couple and it was a fun transaction. The market's changing. I'd love to help your friends or family if they're looking. Do you know anybody who needs help? And then if they answer, you know, the system waits and all that. We've been through this before. So in order to do that from your database, and if you want, I can do this for you, but I just want to show you where it is, okay? So I can select everybody in my database. Then if you'll notice up here, if you come up here, there's this little robot guy. So if you click the robot guy, it's going to ask you, are these the people that you want to do this with? So this is where you could hit okay, proceed. Now it's going to ask you what campaign or workflow you want to use. This is where we can go down, look through and find the database reactivation. So if I just click that workflow, and I can put a note here that I'm going to just do a database reactivation. It asks you to name the action because in the reports, it's going to tell you what it added in here, okay? So if I wanted to send this to everybody, then I can go ahead and add them to that campaign. And I'm going to do that because I'm going to test to see, I've got 2 test people in here. They're both my email addresses. And then you'll notice if you've got a whole bunch of people, it's going to do what they call a bulk action. It's not going to send it all at once. It's going to send a few at a time. And that keeps it from your email being flagged as spam, okay? And so you just click OK, and it'll start doing its process. So when I hit that, I just got a text message. Just got a text message. I was one of those things. Hi, I just closed on a house with an awesome couple, blah, 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 just like I said. So there's
I like that
text that
dialogue.
goes out
That's
right
a great
there.
dialogue.
And if they respond, then the system will respond back. So that's where the artificial intelligence happens. It checks to see if they responded, if they gave a positive or a negative response, what they send. If they send you some information, it will send that back to you. So each one of you should have Lead Connector connected on your phone. And so you have the mobile app downloaded on your phone. I think we did that, Diane, when I was there, right? You have the mobile app, the Lead Connector app.
I know we did that dot card that I've yet to use.
Okay.
So I don't know that I have Instant Agent on here.
Well, it'll be called Lead Connector as one of your apps.
Oh, I do have it.
Mhm.
I do have it.
So open that up.
Let me put on my glasses.
Okay. And I just added it as a, on my main screen so I know exactly where it is. Because
Okay.
this is where you could communicate with people on the go. You can see who's in your database. You can kind of get a feel for who's in your pipelines, all of that. So Colleen, did we download that when
I have it downloaded. I was just trying to pop on it right now. And
okay.
if not, I'm going to work on that today too. That's on sit at my desk and get her done.
Okay. Because your communications tab is the, let's see. So the last one is the little people. That'll give you everybody that's in your database. It also has your calendar, if you have your calendar connected in, so your Google Gmail calendar. The star in the middle is going to be any reviews that are on your Google My Business. And then conversations tab, it's actually the second one over, the little, text tab. And you can see conversations back and forth with people. So you can see if somebody, like I got a response back, like when I sent out my database activation, that kind of thing. So that's where you can see when people start messaging back to you. And then you'll also receive an email notification about that or text. So just make sure you've got that on your phone because it's your easy access to MyInstantAgent when you're on the go. Okay. So hopefully, over the next few days, you guys will work on getting your database up and in the system so that we can start doing things with them to get you more business coming in.
Michelle,
Yes,
excuse me. Do we have the ability to do it when we want to do it versus when the automation is done?
well, I mean, yeah, because I guess it just depends on what you want to do. Do you want to stay consistently in front of people, or are you going to wait and just do it yourself, which ends up, I know you're concerned, Diane, because you want to make sure the messages that are going out are what you want to go out. So we can work on that. And, I can go in with you and we could make all the verbiage what you want instead of it being just generic stuff, right?
It's that, but it's also like having something go out every 2 weeks is a little overwhelming. The people I deal with, even the young people, like Bailey, she's, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And I've reached out to probably 60 of my clients since October, whenever it was that we started this, and asked them, I would like to start sending you things. I don't want you to not want to get stuff from me. What's a good time frame for you? Because I'm trying to get what they want versus, and all of them said, maybe once a month. The majority said, I don't know, every other month. So every 2 weeks is a little too much for my database.
Okay, well, and from a coaching platform, I would still say you still want to be more than just once a month in front of them. So I guess we can sit down and work with yours, Diane, and see what you really feel comfortable doing with them. But remember, yeah, you don't want to inundate them. I understand that. But staying in front of them and reminding them who you are and what you do and providing useful stuff. I think that's the biggest thing that I have not found with other systems.
Yeah.
That what they send out is garbage, right? And we don't want that. We want things that they're going to be interested in. And that's part of why I want to make sure you have tags inside of every contact, because you only want useful things going to certain people. And yes, you can be in control of what's going out when, and we can work on that for you. Okay.
Yeah, because I've already have like six messages this morning, people wanting to get, let's go have coffee, let's catch up. So my clients reach back out to me,
right?
And I get Christmas presents from them, and Christmas cards and stuff. And I don't, yeah, I'm the oddball here. Sorry, ladies.
No, I want it to be useful for you in a way that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
But, I guess that goes with what are your goals for the year? How much business do you want to do? And, not everybody wants to do 100 deals a year. So, it's how you want to work your business, and we could work with that. So, yeah,
Okay.
I've made it where, in each of your accounts, we can change verbiage. If you don't like what's been put in there, we can make it a little more useful for you and what you feel comfortable with. So, I don't have things that are going out all the time. It's when somebody gets added to, like if we request a review from them, then the system does certain things to communicate back and forth to get them to do that. When they're a VIP and they've closed with us, they just get things usually about every month, just a little useful thing or a reminder, like after they close, like with a seller. If I go into the automation for somebody who's closed as a seller, so let's go.
And I think the other thing for me too is I have postcards going out
Uh-huh.
every quarter
Okay.
from Boomerang, and they get discounts from Boomerang on
Yeah.
that to my clients and stuff. So I mean, I'm already doing a
Right.
lot of that through another system, and then they
Right.
get this. I
And
mean,
it's just hitting them in different ways, just,
yeah,
but being useful. And that's the biggest thing, is to provide useful things that they're going to appreciate. But if they say it's just too much, they can be removed from it. So, like with a seller closed, once they're closed, the system waits for 10 days and just basically reminds them or asks them for a referral. After you've closed with them, they already love you, so might as well try and see if you can help some of their friends and family. This one's another 20 days. So basically almost a month later, they're just reminded of the fact that they should have money coming back from their escrow account. So, because some people don't know that and don't know to call the lender and see where their escrow money is. Why haven't they received it? I've had that for myself in the past. That's just the first stage with a seller, and then it goes into long-term, where it's over a period of time. It's not every couple of weeks. Okay. So, but we want to stay in front of them, but in useful ways. And your postcards are going to do that. You kind of want to hit them in different ways where they're being reminded that you're there and you're being helpful. So, yeah, I didn't want something that just over inundates everybody all the time, but I wanted it to be a useful information that they're getting pretty regularly, that it just, keeps you in front of them. So, yeah. And like I said, it's your business. You decide what you want to do with it, and we'll work around that. Okay.
okay.
So that's why I like to meet with you guys one-on-one and, figure out what's going to work best for you. All right. Anybody else have any questions about database or how to get that rolling here?
Do you recommend that this type of contact, personal touch with your clients, if you don't have something already consistently working, just give it a shot and see if it's overwhelming to them?
Well, I mean, I don't want it to be overwhelming to anybody, but if you've got people that you haven't communicated with in a while, it's a good touch point to get in front of them. And, maybe they'll tell you, hey, don't communicate with me anymore. Okay, you take them out of your list, but for the most part, people are going to be like, no, I'm sorry, I don't have anybody. Or, oh gosh, I was just talking to my friend the other day and they're thinking about selling their home. You never know. You might get 3 or 4 leads out of that.
I thought I'd use it as a good reason to reconnect with some of the contacts I haven't been connecting with. And I'm on a little bit different scale because I took about 5 years to just regroup where my head was.
Right.
And now I want to close 40 homes this year. The only way to do it is figure out the new way. And it's the old way. You just get in front of people.
Right. And that's why I call it a reactivation, because a lot of people really haven't communicated with their database in the ways that they should. Now, you may have been sending out, I know Yvonne and Diane, you're using Boomerang, which is a great system to be able to keep in front of people. And you're offering something that's cool, because who doesn't like a coupon? And so it's just a nice touch. But sometimes they'll get that stuff in the mail and they'll forget that you're the one that's sending that because they just see the coupon. So what other ways can you touch them as well, just to, be top of mind? That's really what it is. We don't want to be the annoying pest. We want to be the welcome guest, right? So, yeah. And if there's anything in the process that you figure we need to change a little bit, like I said, you guys are my guinea pigs. So, if there are things that we're going to change in the system, we can do it. That's what's the beauty of it. I built this that we could tailor to our businesses and not have to just run with what some company sells us. Okay. So, and if you have any thoughts on other things we can be doing, I'm open to that. We can add more stuff too here. So whatever works. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. You got business to go out and get. Yes. And I'll just be connecting with you guys because I do, want to keep up with you and just help see what I can do. I'm here to coach and and help you throughout your systems. So please connect with me on that. Okay.
Have a wonderful day, ladies.
All
It's
right.
good to see your
Yes.
pretty faces. I'll
Yep.
put my light on.
Yeah.
I'll go down and get my light so you can see me.
Okay. All right. Well, I love y'all, and call me if you have any questions or any problems. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
I'm going to call you immediately because I need